श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज, निज मन मुकुर सुधारी। बरनउँ रघुबर बिमल जसु, जो दायक फलचारी। बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके, सुमिरो पवन कुमार। बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि, हरहु कलेश विकार। जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर, जय कपीस तिहु लोक उजागर। रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा, अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा। महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी, कुमति निवारी सुमति के संगी। कंचन बरन विराज सुबेसा, कानन कुंडल कुंचित केशा। हाथ वज्र और ध्वजा बिराजे, कांधे मूंज जनेऊ साजे। शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन, तेज प्रताप महाजगबंदन। विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर, राम काज करिबे को आतुर। प्रभु चरित्र सुनि बेको रसिया, राम लखन सीता मन बसिया। सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा, बिकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा। भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारे, रामचंद्र के काज सवारे। लाए सजीवन लखन जियाए, श्री रघुबीर हरषि उर लाए। रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बड़ाई, तुम मम प्रिय भरतहि संभाई। सहस बदन तुम्हरो जस गावे, अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावे। सहस बदन तुमरो जस गावे, अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावे। सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा, नारद सारद सहित अहिसा। जम कुबेर दिग पाल जहाते, कभी कोविद कहि सके कहते। तुम उपकार सुग्रीवहि कीन्हा, राम मिलाए राजपत दीन्हा। तुम्हरो मंत्र विभीषण माना, लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना। जुग सहस्त्र जो जन पर भानु, लील्यो ताहि मधुर फल जानु। प्रभु मुद्रिका मैली मुख माहि, जलधि लांगी गए अचरज नाहि। दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते, सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हरे तेते। राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे, होत न आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे। सब सुख लहे तुम्हारी शरणा, तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना। आपन तेज समारो आपे, तीनों लोक हाकते कापे। भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे, महावीर जब नाम सुनावे। नासे रोग हरे सब पीरा, जपत निरंतर हनुमत बीरा। संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावे, मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावे। सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा, तिनके काज सकल तुम साजा। और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे, सोई अमित जीवन फल पावे। चारों जुग प्रताप तुम्हारा, है प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा। साधु संत के तुम रखवारे, असुर निकंदन राम दुआरे। अष्ट सिद्धि नौ निधि के दाता, असबर दीन जानकी माता, राम रसायन तुमरे पासा, सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा। तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावे, जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे। अंत काल रघुबरपुर जाई, जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई। और देवता चित्त न धरहि, हनुमत से ही सर्व सुख करहि। संकट कटे मिटे सब पीरा, जो सुमिरे हनुमत बलबीरा। जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई, कृपा करो गुरुदेव की नाई। जो सत बार पाठ करे कोई, छूटहि बंदी महासुख होई। जो यह पढ़े हनुमान चालीसा, होए सिद्ध साखी गौरीसा। तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा, की जय नाथ हृदय महडेरा। पवन तनय संकट हरन, मंगल मूर्ति रूप। राम लखन सीता सहित, हृदय बसो सुर भूप। सियावर रामचंद्र की जय, पवन सुत हनुमान की जय। उमापति महादेव की जय, बोलो रे भाई सब संतन की जय। जय श्री राम, जय श्री कृष्ण, जय हनुमान। बोलो रे भाई सब संतन की जय। ये संत क्या होते हैं? What are sages? And why do we do jay? Why do we actually look up to them? But before saying why do we actually look up to them, we have to understand what sages are. Are they the ones who are dressed in orange robes? Or they are the ones sitting in tapasya? Or are they the one who are just chanting the Lord's name? Are those sages? Or there can be any other definition of a sage also. What do you think? I'm sure you all know that there can definitely be another definition of a sage. A sage can be a person who is selfless. A sage can be a person who is always helping and kind. A sage can be a person who is willing to sacrifice his own good for the greater benefit. A sage can be a person who does not know a word of reading or writing or scriptures, yet has a kind heart. All those people who make that extra effort, to go beyond their own selfish interests are sages. And today being Republic Day, all our soldiers, all of them who serve the country are sages. They go beyond protecting the boundaries of their homes, protecting the boundaries of their state, protecting the boundaries of their country becomes their motto. Not only this, these sages respect the boundaries of other countries also. They never cross the boundaries and enter other countries. They never injure nor harm anybody till they are provoked or compelled to protect. And even after that, there is a lot of humility with which the people captured or the people killed in war are treated. These sages are fearless yet compassionate. They know their duty is to protect and not to attack. And they are also sages dressed in their khakis, dressed in their brown, dressed in their uniforms. Won't you agree with me? This is what our scriptures tell us. They harp on one single thing. Serve, serve, serve. Serve others as much as you can. Forget the boundaries of your family. Forget the boundaries of your house. Forget the boundaries and reach out. Reach out knowing that probably the other person would never be able to return your favor. But why do you want any return? Because there is no favor being done. Ultimately, when we serve others, we are only serving ourselves, because in the others and us reside that one divine. And that is what the scriptures, our country, speaks. Again and again it tells humanity is the most important religion. Again and again it proves that we are not only tolerant, we have learned how to accept the differences, and remember that in all the differences, that one remains the same, and that one is this divine whom we worship and call in different names. That is the sole teaching of Bharat. That is the sole teaching of India. Compassion and love. And it cannot be any different, isn't it? Because a nation is the outcome of its culture, its heritage. And this is our heritage. This is our culture, our itihas, our Purans. They preach and preach and preach. They teach and teach and teach. And again with different stories and different verses and different words, the one message that they are trying to give is the message of universal love. Unfortunate it is that we have demeaned these holy scriptures, we have demeaned the nation which upholds such great virtues by saying that it is divided into religion, it is divided by caste and creed. Kisne bola? It is all hoax. It is not true. It is not at all true. For that, we'll have to open our eyes and look around. And only then will we realize the greatness of our nation, the greatness of our scriptures. Today, in the process, in our journey of Srimad Bhagwat Mahapuran, we have reached the 9th skand. We have almost reached the end of 9th skand. And after 9th skand starts Krishna Leela. The 10th skand is about Krishna Leela. And as we are approaching the end of the 9th skand, the 9th book, and as we are reaching the 10th book, one message is very clear. The message is that the most important thing that we need to take with us to move into the 10th skand and understand Sri Krishna is that we have to learn to give. Yes. We are all takers, isn't it? Yes. We want, we take, we expect. How many of us just want to give and give and give? Without expectations, without returns, without benefits. Just give. How many of us? Not many. Kahin na kahin, somewhere in our heart, the expectation that we will get a return for our good behavior or good conduct or good deeds is always there. But is it right? Is something that we need to ask ourselves. Unless and until we awaken the giver in us, we will not understand Shri Krishna. समझ ही नहीं आएंगे. See, one thing is very clear. To understand Sri Ram, it is very easy, right? But to walk in the footsteps of Sri Ram is very difficult. Although he has done the Nar Leela, मनुष्य बन के आए थे. He was human. He lived like us. He never displayed any extraordinary power. And in every adversity, he taught us how to become better and not bitter. Yet, he's very difficult to follow. He's easy to understand. He's straightforward, very simple. Love all, hate none, forgive, forgive, forgive. Don't hold a grudge. The world is beautiful. Make it a better place. Simple, simple rules of life he's displaying. Yet, it is very difficult to follow Sri Ram. It seems as though it is not practical, right? On the contrary, it is very easy to follow Sri Krishna. Time and again I've heard people saying, Krishna ने भी तो झूठ बोला था, Krishna ने भी तो ये करा था, Krishna ने भी तो वो करा था. So many things about Sri Krishna. Both negative and positive, and many a times a lot of negative. When Krishna can do it, why can't I? Always remember, it is very easy to follow Sri Krishna, but it is very difficult to understand him. And unless and until we understand him, we would not understand his actions. And unless and until we understand his actions and intentions, how will we follow him? But at the surface, on the superficial level, Krishna lied, Krishna did that, Krishna did that. No. To understand Sri Krishna, we have to become givers like him. We have to expand our heart beyond boundaries. We have to think like him. And only then would we be able to understand Sri Krishna. In fact, most of us never understood Mahabharata. So much so that Ved Vyasji repented after writing Mahabharata. He said, oh my goodness, this holy Granth has been taken down to the level of their limited understanding. And it is being misinterpreted and misused. He had sleepless nights. And then he said, no. As a repentance, he wrote Srimad Bhagwat Mahapuran, explaining people, don't take that scripture wrong. Srimad Bhagwat Mahapuran, and when he wrote Srimad Bhagwat Mahapuran, he was upfront and direct. He said, no, step by step, this is it. Because he realized that if you twist it into a story, if you cover it with different events, it is very difficult to comprehend. He was afraid that just by how Mahabharata has been misinterpreted, so what? Srimad Bhagwat Mahapuran. He's very cautious. And he wrote it in a way so that we would understand. And see, look at the sequence of the book. 9 skands, 9 books have been written before he starts Krishna Leela in the 10th skand. कहते हैं ना, जो दूध से जला है वो छाछ भी फूक फूक कर पीता है. If your tongue gets burnt by hot milk, even that cold lassi or cold buttermilk, you will be very cautious before drinking it. And this is what has happened to Vedyasji. He said, unless and until they are able to elevate to a certain level, they won't understand Shri Krishna. Over here also, Shukdevji, before taking Parikshit to Krishna Leela, he has talked about everything else. Why? So that we are able to cleanse our being. We are able to cleanse our heart. And only when we are clean and pure will we be able to see what Krishna is trying to tell us. 9 skans of cleansing. Cleansing hui kya? Ask yourself, am I clean? Have I reached that level? Well, don't worry if you have not, if I have not. Because they say, are you reading the Bhagwat? There are sages who ask, are you reading the Bhagwat? And if you say yes, yes, they'll ask you, how many times have you read? If you say one, they would consider it not reading at all. And if you say, I've read the Bhagavad 3 to 4 times, they would say, oh, you have just begun. For them to really understand what Srimad Bhagavad Mahapuran is saying, you have to read it beyond 15 to 20 times. It is not easy. When all the things we do in this world take so much of effort, do you think our scriptures will not take effort? Do you think it is okay? And do you think you feel that all our scriptures, all our books, everything does not require effort? No. And not only this, it is not the effort of reading. It is the effort of understanding it. It is the effort of understanding what the scripture is saying. And after you understand it, implement it. Implement it in your life. It is very essential to implement it. Is it easy? No. Very difficult. Will we fail? 100 times. But as they say, the masters have failed and fallen so many times, and as many times and many times. More times have the master fallen than the students have even tried. And nobody fails till that person is willing to get up and try again. You fail only when you decide never to get up and leave it. Just like our soldiers, there are a lot of people whom we can talk about. You think that our scriptures are primitive? Then look at people around you. There are people like Warren Buffett. There are people like the soldiers. There are people, I was reading about the German Prime Minister, who in her 18 years of service only focused on the people and never took anything for her own. Before 18 years, she was living in a particular apartment. After that, also she was living there, doing her own chores, repeating suits and dressing up in the simplest of manner, focusing on the betterment of her people and not hers. If we open our eyes and look around, the kind of people we are talking in our scriptures still exist. They are there. No doubt. So we can't say that this example of Ranti Dev ji, King Ranti Dev, whom we are going to talk about, is very distant. No. There are many, many people like him still walking the earth in blood and flesh, just like us. They have a normal life, they live like us, they eat like us, but they are divine. What is different between us and them? Their nature to give without expecting any return from anyone, anything, any situation. No return from God also. Just like Ranti Dev here, he is a Chandravanshi, right? We are talking about Chandravanshis right now. So he is a Chandravanshi. And he is a descendant of Bharat. Now Raja Bharat was great. See, he had 3 wives and 3 sons, right? He was in the lineage of Dushyant. We did the session last week about so. 3 wives, 3 sons. Yet he felt that none was capable of ruling the kingdom. He was a Samrat. And he felt that his children did not have the capability or the capacity or the character which was needed to rule his people and the kingdom nicely, to do justice to the people. Hence, he did not make any of them the king. He prayed, it is said, and based on the nakshatras, it's a long story, he begot a prince called Bharadwaj, a baby called Bharadwaj, who was made the king. And this is a very common sight in our scriptures. Again and again we'll see that whenever the flow of lineage is not powerful and is not strong enough, there are going to be interventions. Interventions from the gurus, interventions from the devas, interventions from the nakshatras. And a rightful descendant is going to be provided. How it is done are different. There are different ways. Some gurus, what happens, this story happened, that. But the crux of it is that the nakshatras, that is the planets, the devas and the gurus intervened. And they gave a person who could lead the world. In Chandravansh also, in Suryavansh also, we have seen wherever there was a flaw in the lineage, the gurus and the nakshatras intervened. And over here also, and again, Bharat's lineage followed, and down in his lineage were two kings, Guru and Rantidev. Many after a few generations. If you open the Srimad Bhagwat Mahapuran, why do I repeat again and again that this is itihas, that is history? This is not mythology, because very methodically the family tree has been mentioned. From this person, this was born. From this person, this was born. How many children did they have? Whom did they marry? Who was the father? Who was the father-in-law? Family trees have been mentioned. There are pages and pages and pages of names, their children, their relations, and who ruled when, what was their speciality. Everything has been mentioned. It is mind-boggling at times. How did they keep track? But they did. So don't consider this mythology. It is history. And down the lineage, there was a king called Rantidev. Now, Rantidev was a very different kind of a king. He did not want anything for himself. He always used to consider him the servant of his people. He did not want to rule. He did not want the fancy palaces. He did not want anything at all. All he wanted was to serve. And that is what he did. All the money he would get from the taxes, all the money that was gathered, all the grains that were collected, he never took any of it. He said, this is not mine. And whatever he had, he would distribute. Mind you, whatever he had, I'm not saying portions of what he had. Whatever he had, he would distribute. Do you know? We humans store. We store food, we store money, we are so worried about our future. We store and store and store. And at the expense of what are we storing everything? At the expense of knowing that this particular money or this particular thing could save somebody else's life right this moment. We all know that whatever we have right now can be used to help somebody else. How do we know? Of course we know. All around us there is poverty. All around us people are dying of hunger. All around us people need money. But what do? We safely tuck the money away in FDs and deposits. Why? Because we are securing our future. Is it wrong? Well, you ask yourselves, is it wrong or is it right? You tell me. Is it wrong or is it right? I think somehow down in our hearts we know what is right and what is wrong. And then there is something called practicality and being practical. And we all follow being practical, isn't it? But Rantidev was not practical. We can, in today's words, call him an emotional fool who did not care about his family. He did not care about his children's future. And he was blind and emotional because he would not keep anything for himself. And God was kind. God gave him also. The more he donated, the more he distributed, the more he gave, the more he got. And he kept giving. See, there are two kinds of people. One, the people do not have anything. Right? They do not have enough money and they do not have enough finances or they do not have enough things, due to which they are not able to increase their lifestyle or enjoy the luxuries of this material world. Then the second kind of people are those who have everything and then they help themselves uplift their standards of living, and they enjoy all the luxuries. They travel for no reason whatsoever. They eat in the finest of restaurants, and that is nothing wrong again. It is their way of life. But then there are the third kind of people who, by God's grace, have everything, enough and more, as if there is a flow of money happening to them. Yet, they don't spend on themselves. They do not increase their standards of living. They do not get swayed by temptations. ऐसा नहीं है कि they don't get tempted. Who does not get tempted by Maya? Maya is beautiful, and the luxuries she offers are mesmerizing and mind-boggling. मन तो उनका भी करता है. And just imagine, when you have it, why don't spend it on yourself? Why don't enjoy life? But no, they spend it on others. They remember the purpose of being born as humans. The first type of people who do not have cannot do anything. Even if they want to, they cannot increase their standards of living. Second type of people, they have and they splurge it on themselves. And the third kind of people are those who have, yet they do not spend on themselves and look around for those who need help. Which category do you fall in? And then you will say, no. We also have to live a basic lifestyle, isn't it? This is our need. Again, ask yourself, what do you have? Do you have the things that fulfill your need or your wants? See, we have to be honest to ourselves. These questions we have to ask ourselves, and we have to give honest answers also. And we know something in our heart will tell us what the right answer is. Nobody else is needed. You can justify, but you cannot deny the wrong that is being done by us all. एक नहीं, सभी कर रहे. If everybody had become a giver, then the world would have been a better place, right? God has given us all enough for our needs, but He has not given us enough for our greed. How many of us, like Randi Dev, when God has been kind and given us ample, increase the standard of giving and not their standard of living? It's very difficult. I agree. It's very, very, very difficult. The temptations pull. But how many of us are able to resist? How many of us, in spite of being pulled, are able to stay put and come back and say, नहीं, ये गलत है. ठाकुर जी ने दिया है, प्रभु ने दिया है, तो मुझे आगे देने दो. See, think about it. Now, Ranti Dev was a king. Greatest and greatest of kings. He had everything, the Samrajya. What did he not have? Yet, he did not take care of his family in the way we think is taken care of. He gave every bit of what he had, he gave. And it is said that then, as time went by, there was such a great famine, there was such a great problem, that it's just so happened that he had nothing left. Because he said, how can I eat when there are people around me who are hungry? How can I enjoy the luxuries or wear the best of finest of clothes when this money can be used to feed somebody else or to educate somebody else or to help a family or to support somebody in their medical endeavors? To support somebody who is ill. He did not indulge. He did not get tempted. He did not get swayed. Nobody would have questioned him, but he did not. He gave and gave and gave every last bit. There were times when his own family did not have enough to eat. They would go hungry for days, yet whatever he got, he would distribute. And there came a day when for 48 days, he and his children and his wife had nothing to eat. Nothing. Yet, he decided not to get swayed. he never left his ways. He just prayed to God. He remained calm. He did not complain. He did not think it was a mistake to give. होता है ना? Many a times we think, if that time I would have saved, see, this would not have been my condition. And many people give this explanation, it is not me for whom I am saving. It is for my children and my wife. Had I been alone, I would have given a lot. किसको झूठ बोल रहे हो? Had I been alone or had you been alone, we would have done the same thing. Over here, his children were starving. His wife was starving. Ranti Dev was starving, but there was no regret for his behavior of giving. He never felt bad that he did not store for himself. Nobody stores for himself. Does the plants and the trees bear fruit for themselves? No. Do the waters of the river drink their own water? No. Do the honeybees have their own honey? No. Nobody does. Do the birds worry about tomorrow? No. They have more faith in God than we do. They know, आज खा लिया कल मिल जाएगा. God has created all of us. God has made you and me. If He has made us, won't He do provision for our food? Won't He take care of us when we need Him to? We don't have faith? We don't. Let's not deny it. We don't have faith. We don't. And so Ranti Dev never regretted. 48 days, Ranti Dev went on without any meal. Yet, he was very happy that he had given. And it is said that after 48 days, on the 49th day, he got some food. He got some rice, he got some ghee, he got some halwa, he got some water. He got all these things. And finally, he gathered his family and he said, let's eat. We all have been hungry. Just imagine, 48 days of starvation. And finally, they had some decent meal, some food to eat. And let's not forget who we are talking about. He is the king. He is not an ordinary individual. Right? And they sat down. The entire family sat down. And they were about to have their meal. And do you know what happened? Just when they were about to eat, there came a sound. Bhiksham de. Bhiksham de. And he looked out. He saw a Brahmin Dev. And they had divided the portions among themselves. And at that very moment he got up. He picked up his own portion and gave it entirely to the Brahmin Dev. He touched his feet and says, please have this. The kheer, puri, whatever was the best of the food he gave to the Brahmin Dev. Touched his feet. And after the Brahmin Dev was satisfied, he came back in. Now when he came back in, they all again sat down to have their meal. So whatever was left, they divided amongst themselves. And when Ranti Dev and his family was about to take the first morsel, first bite, again, knock knock on the door and came a Shudra. Right? Why am I saying Shudra and Brahmin? We'll understand in a while because it's mentioned also, but there's a different thing. He came and immediately the same treatment was given to the Shudra Bhai also. The best of whatever was left was given to this Shudra and he was given everything. Ranti Devji, the king, stood there till this Shudra was satisfied. And when he did naman to him, after he went, he came back again. Okay. Then did they get to have their meal? No. By the time they were about to eat again, there came a man with his dogs. And he said, I'm very hungry and so are my dogs. Can you give us something to eat? We are starving. We are famished. Ranti Devji gave away all the food, whatever was left. Every single bit. Not only to the man, but to the dogs also. Sab kuch de diya. Again, this man and the dogs were satisfied and they left. And what was Ranti Devji left with? A little bit of water. And he thought, "Okay, we'll all drink some water and satisfy our hunger." But that was also not meant to be. The minute he was about to drink the water, a Chandal came. The minute the Chandal came, he said, "I am so thirsty. My lips are all dry. Can you please give me some water? I need to drink something right now or I'll collapse." Ranti Devji immediately gathered all the water he had and offered it. And this Chandal drank it all. He drank it all and he went away, thanking Ranti Dev. Was Ranti Dev thirsty? Was he hungry? Was he famished? Was his family complaining? Was he regretting? No, he was not. He was in a state of Turiya, the fourth state of bliss. Totally blissful. His body, his throat, his being was energized. No thirst, no hunger. He felt as if he had eaten all the food and drank all the water. No regret, only satisfaction. Satisfaction that only giving can bring. Gauge yourself. When you give, don't you feel happy? It is more so. You feel happier when you give rather than when you take. Try to assess this. Try to feel it and you will know. See, we have to stop lying to ourselves. We have to actually look within and understand those intangible emotions and those soft feelings that are emerging from within. We don't want to actually listen to that soft voice. The noise around us has actually made us deaf towards this soft voice. This true voice which tells us how we are feeling. Do you know, most of the time we don't even know how we are feeling? And if you would have known that giving makes you happier than taking. And Ranti Devji was so satisfied. He was blissful. He was overjoyed. He said that I am feeling so lucky. I am feeling so fulfilled. I am feeling so satisfied. All my hunger, all my troubles, everything has disappeared. Everything. In fact, he felt as if there was no suffering at his end. And this can happen only when one gives. And at that very moment, he became free. He became free. This is mukti. What is mukti? This is mukti. Yes, this is mukti. How will I define it? Just listen to the story. The ability to give, that extent, and this is not the first time. We have seen Raja Harishchandra. We have seen so many examples in our scriptures where people like this have existed. Once their word is given, they would not take it back, no matter what. Somebody is suffering, they are going to help, no matter what. Forgetting the self. Forgetting the self. Which self? I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am not the thought. I am but the witness. And that same witness is sitting in everybody else. So when I'm helping somebody else, I'm not helping anybody but myself. And this is mukti. This is breaking all the shackles of mundane existence and becoming free. इतनी सी तो बात है. And probably that's why just before entering the Krishna Katha, We are talking about the greatness of giving. Where Raja Bharat thought that if his children are not going to make good use of what he has and would not be able to rule it properly, instead of giving everything that he had and the throne to them, he summoned another child who was more capable. Why? Because he knew there is no difference. There was no mine and thine in him. That is why it was so easy. Suppose today I tell you that your children are not good enough, there is another child who's going to make better use of your money, kindly give all your money to him. You'll tell me, are you mad? What are you talking about? Nonsense, Barkha, it does not make sense. It is not practical. But this is what an unconditioned mind knows to be the truth. In the same way, Rantidev knew it is okay whether I feed these 3 people or I feed those 3 people. It does not matter. More so, if I feed these 3 people. And then his family was also not hindering him from giving. They wanted to give away. It's okay, they said. Give. Because for him, everything was equal. And he did not even distinguish between whom he should give and whom he should not give. Aajkal to wo ho gaya na, we should be very careful before we are giving. He gave to the Brahmin, Shudra, the Chandal and the person with the dogs with equal respect, equal reverence, and with that thought that in each one of them there is God. Even in the dogs he could see God. He said, Hari, tum sab mein ho. हरि को दे रहा हूं मैं, मेरे प्रभु को दे रहा हूं. मेरा मुझ में कुछ नहीं, जो कुछ है वो तेरा, तेरा तुझको सौंपते क्या जाता है मेरा. खाली हाथ आए थे, खाली हाथ चले जाएंगे. ना कुछ लेके आए थे, ना कुछ लेके जाएंगे. बस जो तुमने दिया है ना, वही तुम्हारे साथ जाएगा. जो लिया है वो सब बाद में यहीं रह जाएगा. एंड देन वील हैव टू डू हिसाब किताब. We came empty-handed, we'll go empty-handed. And what is ours? Everything that is around us, our house, our cars, all this is ours, our clothes. No. किसने बोला? ठाकुर जी ने दिया है. He has given it to us and it will not take in a wink it can all be taken away also. And then we cry. We tell God, why have you taken away my things? What my things? It was His to give and His to take away. When He gave, we many a times forgot to thank Him. But when He takes away, we cry foul. Nahi. Be indifferent like Sri Ram, like Ranti Dev Ji. With Ram Ji, the throne came, theek hai. The throne went, the jungle came, theek hai. With Ranti Dev Ji, he got the food, theek hai. When he had to give away the food, theek hai. क्या फर्क पड़ गया? तेरा तुझको सौंपते क्या जाता है मेरा. Oh God, giving your things to you only, what difference does it make to me? It was never mine to start with. And this is the thought that we have to understand and bring in our minds. Nothing is ours to start with. Not our body, not our mind, not our emotions, not our house, not our possessions, not the people we live with, not our relations, not our relatives, not our children, not our parents. Nothing. And this is the truth. All is His. He has been grateful to give, and when He takes away, it is His wish. We cannot dictate and demand. It is wrong. The problem arises because we forget that it is His and we start living in His house thinking that we are the head of the family or we are the masters of the house. नहीं, ये जिस घर में हम रह रहे हैं ना, वो भी ठाकुर जी का ही है. जब तक उनका मन हुआ रखने का रखेंगे, जिस दिन मन नहीं हुआ उस दिन निकाल के बाहर फेंक देंगे. This is the reality. It is. And we have Do remember this. So Ranti Devji did not feel anything. He felt as if by giving, he was liberated. Something stirred. And when that happened, and when he was totally without any regrets, do you know what happened? God appeared in front of him. And he said, these people who had come were no other than Brahma, Vishnu and Mahesh. It was us only. We had come in the form of the dog, in the form of the Chandal, in the form of the Shudra, in the form of the Brahmin, in the form of the man. It was all us. And you, not knowing it was us, treated all as if it was Sri Hari and gave them with lots of respect. There was no difference between the way you treated anybody. And then there was this joy in you. We wanted to test you. See, when you have, although nowadays even when you have, it is horrible and impossible for people to part and give. The more you have, the stingier you get. I've realized. The lesser you have, the more generous you are most of the time. The higher you move up the ladder, your standards of giving become minimal. Somehow I have noticed this. A person who is earning only 1,000 would not think or might give away 500. But the person who is earning 100,000 might only give 500 also. होता है. क्यों होता है वो तो ठाकुर जी जाने. Something happens to our mind, right? The more we have, the more we want, the more our needs and the more our wants. We forget that everything that has been given to us is not ours. The money that we earn, the possessions that we have are not for us. Especially us, the grihasts, even the children in this family. We are the householders, right? We are the people who earn. We are the people with the money. We are responsible for everybody. We are responsible for the pitras, that are the departed souls. We are responsible for devas, because if we don't conduct havans and if we don't pray, they do not get their food. We are responsible for the plants and the animals because they cannot earn for themselves. We are responsible for the sannyasis and the vanaprasthis because they also do not earn. And we are responsible for the brahmacharis also. Even the children who are going to school, everybody, we are responsible to so many. Now, are we fulfilling our responsibility? ठीक है, like Ranti Dev, we are not giving each and every penny that we hold, but how much are we giving? कभी हिसाब लगाया? Have we actually calculated how much do we spend on ourselves and how much do we spend on others? How much do we spend on these 5? See, 5 divisions and 1 probably for us also. Are we dividing our income into 5-6 parts? Okay, this is for them, this is for them, this is for them, this is for them, and the remaining is for me. Nahi. The more we have, the more we splurge. Our vacations become, more lavish. Our food becomes, I don't know. Our spending just increases on ourselves, not on others. Why? And Ranti Dev realized that this kind of a giving, he gave when he was nearing death, literally 48 days of starvation. He had not eaten anything, and yet he was able to give, knowing that if I give away this food also, me and my family will perish. It was like the last straw. Yet he did not sway, he gave. Because he knew either I perish or they perish. Like the Brahmanas and the Shudras and all, because they are also in the same boat. So I'd rather let myself suffer than others suffer. And when this, it is like when this ultimate test is passed, most of us can't pass this test. Most of us don't even reach that level. When this ultimate test is passed, that is when the Lord appears. Yes, in this path, a lot of tests are going to happen. It is not the part of the weak. Only the courageous can walk the path of spirituality and reach the Lord. यह राह नहीं आसान, सुन ले राही, आग का दरिया है और डूब के जाना है. And Ranti Dev is आग के दरिया में कूद गए. he jumped into this fire. And that is when the Lord appeared. He said, we were testing you. We wanted to see. When people have, they can give. But when you have nothing left, would you be able to part with that last thing which could help you live? And you did. There is no other person on this earth who is so great. And many a times, tests happen so that others can learn. God said, now people are going to learn from you, Ranti Dev. The king and the emperor who had everything needed did not keep anything for himself and gave. Now, the Lord was so pleased. The Lord says, ask something from me. What do you want? Take a boon. See, God is also a giver. He wants to give. He said, please take something from me. Now, Ranti Dev said, मुझे आपसे कुछ नहीं चाहिए. I do not want anything, my Lord. But the Lord insisted. And the Lord insisted, no. I want to give you something. Ask. And so Ranti Dev said, I do not seek from the Lord the highest position attained with the eightfold yogic powers. Asht Siddhi, Nav Nidhi, the power to make yourself big, small, just by your drishti, mountains can be converted into gold. Yes, these powers are real and they are there. The problem is we are slogging in the material world. We do not want to slog in the spiritual world. It is said that by our mere drishti, we can create mountains and mountains of gold. We can increase in our size and, become bigger. Like Hanumanji had Asht Siddhi Navnidhi with him. Why did he have them? Because he did not want them. When he was given the garland of the most precious of jewels, he broke them because he could not see Shri Ram in it. ये अष्ट सिद्धि नव निधि उसी के पास आती है जिनको चाहिए नहीं होता कुछ. Greedy people like us cannot get अष्ट सिद्धि नव निधि. So he's saying upfront कि I do not want अष्ट सिद्धि, I do not want नव निधि. I do not want that because he can easily get it. Yet he says, I don't want that. He says, I do not seek from the Lord the highest possession attended with the eightfold yogic powers or even final liberation. That is, that I won't have to take birth and death. All I want, he says, all I want is dwelling in the hearts of the people who are suffering. I want to dwell in the hearts of the people who are suffering. I would rather undergo the suffering of all souls so that they don't have to go through the misery. So what is he saying? I do not want moksha. I do not want liberation. I do not want ashtasiddhi, navnidhi. I do not want anything, my Lord. He's saying, I want to reside in everybody's heart. Now the Lord is very witty. So he said, what are you going to be doing there? I am already residing in everybody's heart. Why do you also want to come? He said, God, I'm not asking you to leave. I'm not saying that you leave and I will come. No. Aapki jagah aapki hai. Because you reside in everybody's heart, but you reside in everybody as a witness. You don't interfere. You don't take away their sorrows. You do not give them happiness. I want to reside in everybody's heart with you. You can continue doing what you are doing. You can be the witness. Let me reside in everybody and let me take their sorrows and agony away. Oh Lord, let me be that person who takes all their agonies away, all their miseries. I want to suffer on their behalf. May nobody else suffer. Let me suffer, my Lord. This is all that I want. And he's saying, my exhaustion due to hunger, thirst have all disappeared on account of my giving away water, which meant life of this miserable fellow, which saved life of this miserable fellow, anxious to survive. See, he's saying, giving away the water, which meant life to this miserable fellow, anxious to survive. He's saying, I am freed of everything because this water, which had to be a lifesaver to me, I was able to even give that away. Socho, that level of giving For us, 0.1% also we think before giving. क्यों दे? बाद में हमारे कौन काम आएगा? Who's going to help us later on? It is not practical. We have to save for a future. Save for your future. We're not asking you to become beggars, but we can learn from Ranti Dev. We can increase our standards of giving and minimize our standards of living, can't we? So he's saying, God, I don't want anything. You reside as a witness. I will reside as a person who takes the agonies and suffering away. I cannot take the suffering of this world. I cannot see anybody suffering. Oh Lord, please, if you want to give me a boon, give me this boon, my Lord. Yes, he existed. You know, there was a sage called Namdev Ji. Now, Namdev Ji, again, he would go around taking bhiksha, and whatever he got in bhiksha, he would eat. He would not even hold on to any meal. If he got extra, he would distribute it. Next day again, he would go for bhiksha. That is true sannyas. Yes, sannyasis are not supposed to do any sanchay and sangrah or accumulation. Vanaprasthis, yes, before becoming a sannyasi, we have to be very careful. What we see around us is not true sannyas. Sannyasis are wandering, they live under a tree. They only have what is on them and only eat what is needed for survival. Before taking sannyas, we have to remember this. Sannyasis cannot have possessions and ashrams and all. No. That is a different thing. And we will justify, नहीं संन्यास तो हृदय से होता है. अरे भाई हृदय से संन्यास होता है ना, जब जिस दिन हृदय से, जिस दिन दिल से संन्यास आता है, वो ऊपर खुद दिख जाता है. ऊपर खुद दिख जाता है. That means the day vairagya comes in you, the day true sannyas enters you, all the material possessions that you're holding on to will automatically be dropped by you. It is not that, no, in my heart I'm a vairagi and a sannyasi, but I have to hold on to the material things. No, you're a hypocrite then, nothing else. कोई एक विरला सन्यासी साधु होता है. We talked about saying na कि what is a saint. कोई एक विरला ऐसा होता है. Just like Ranti Dev, he was willing to give away the life-saving water, the water which would have saved his life. He was willing to give that away. And then, फिर क्या? The Lord was so impressed. Namdev Ji, I was talking about Namdev Ji. Namdev Ji was begging, and that is how he used to collect his food, right? And one day when he was eating his roti, he got a little flour, he was making his roti, he got a little ghee. So he was about to put ghee on his roti and eat. At that very moment, a dog came and snatched away his roti. Yeah, his chapati. And Namdev Ji ran after the dog, not to get his roti back. He was saying, "Arey, please wait, don't go away. I have not put ghee on the roti. How will you eat it without ghee? It's going to taste better with ghee. Let me at least put ghee for you, oh dear dog, and then eat the roti." Just imagine. Because even in that dog, what did he see? He saw the Lord. There is one more story that goes that there was a king who after death, he had done all good deeds. Okay, he was very, very, just like Ranti Dev Ji. कहाँ जाएंगे? स्वर्ग लोग जाएंगे? स्वर्ग से भी ऊपर जाना होता है, पर ठीक है. They were taking him to heaven. So he said, but I always wanted to see what hell is and what heaven is. So the Yamdoots, or Yamdoot bhi nahi, in fact, the messengers of God, because if you're all kind and good, Yamdoots don't come. The messengers of Vishnu come and take you. So the messenger of Vishnu said, okay, I'll take you to heaven. Before that, you want to see hell, we'll take you to hell. And after that, we'll take you to heaven. So they took him to hell. And what did he see? There were people who were happy and joyous and kind and giving. Everybody was so pleased and so kind and so loving and so satisfied in hell that this king asked. He said, you said you were going to take me to hell first, but you have got me into heaven. Why didn't you take me to hell? And the messenger said, this is hell. But the thing is, by being in your vicinity, by being in your aura, we keep talking about aura, right? We all have a great big aura around us. Yes, a great big aura. So the way the world is reacting to us is not because of them, It is because of our aura and what we carry in it. If we have love and peace and kindness in our aura, everybody is going to be loving, peaceful and kind to us. And you'll say, aisa to nahi hota. Well, how pure is your aura? When Buddha and all these great sages are around, even the most vicious of lions become tame. But then, itni pure aura honi chahiye na. We say we do a little and we say, no, our aura is pure. Who are we fooling? Any which ways. So now, because the messenger said, because of being in the aura of yours, they have all become so kind and loving that even hell has become heaven. Their miseries and sufferings have ended. And do you know what this king said? He said, then there is no need for me to go to heaven. I will stay here only. I'll stay in hell. Why? Because if my presence, if my being can help somebody and make their miseries end, I have nowhere else to go. Such great sages. People who think so much about others at the expense of themselves. And people like us, we cry foul if somebody takes advantage. Usne mera advantage le liya. People take advantage of me. You should be very grateful that you have something to give that people are taking from you. If you can help somebody, why not? Karte chalo acha. See, it is not about you and the people. It is about you and the Divine Lord. He is watching, forever watching, always watching. Then why and who are we trying to please? It is about me. There is a saying, let me just find it, about me and God. I wish I had kept it right. Just give me a minute, I'll find it. It's essential for this session. And God, this is one of my favorite quotes. I can't find it right now. The crux of it is, even if we are kind and good, people might judge us, people might be bad to us. Our kindness must be taken in the wrong way. It might be considered our weakness. But always remember, this is not between you and the people. It is between you and God. It is only between you and God. He is watching. He is there in everyone. He is there in you. He knows. We can't hide anything from Him. And it's this entire life is not a journey, is not an exchange between anyone. It is an exchange between me and Him, my God, my Lord. And Ranti Jevji passed with flying colors in this test of life. And he did not ask for anything else. And most of the sages, you'll realize in Srimad Bhagwat Mahapuran, so far have not asked for anything else. And have really, really insisted they would ask to help other people and take away their sorrow. And they would ask for one very important thing, that is unswaying devotion. We think being a devotee is easy. Nahi, devotion is the ultimate last stage. The sadhus and the sannyasis and the biggest of peoples, the tapasvis, they are not devotees. A devotee, becoming a devotee is a last stage. It's a last stage. And they keep saying, let my devotion not sway. Let my devotion towards the Lord not sway. That is all that they want. कुछ और नहीं चाहिए. और हमें प्रभु से सब कुछ चाहिए. बस प्रभु नहीं चाहिए. We want everybody, everything from God. We do not want God. We want everything but devotion. क्यों? ऐसा क्यों है? Ask yourselves, question yourselves. ऐसा है? ऐसा क्यों है? See, today's session is about Ranti Dev, and we all need to question ourselves. We all need to question ourselves. And unless and until we are able to question ourselves, we are able to understand and figure out where we stand in the scheme of things, how far have we come in our journey, how pure we are, how will we understand Shri Krishna? Unless and until we understand our capacity of giving, how will Krishna be understood? Only a giver can understand a giver, right? Unless and until you have seen an orange, you would not understand what an orange is. Only a person who has seen an apple can understand an apple, right? So unless and until you are as nice and pure, as clean as Sri Krishna, would you be able to understand him, leave alone see him? And this session, which is so close to the end of the 9th book, is telling us just this. बाकी सब छोड़ो, आपने देना सीखा क्या? How much of a giver have you become? Ask. And Ranti Dev, it is said, he, that very moment, got freed from all attachments. He was as it is free from attachments. He was as it is free from cravings. Even the Rajas, Tamas, Sattva was dissolved. Everything, Maya left like a dream. See, Maya tried to come and said, I'll give you Riddhi, Siddhi, Nidhi. He said nothing. So Maya ran away the way she had come. And not only did he concentrate his mind on God and met God and became one with the Lord, all the people around him, it is said over here, by virtue of their close association with him, all that followed in the footsteps of Ranti Dev became yogis exclusively devoted to Sri Lord Narayan. Socho. Just by being in the vicinity of a person like Ranti Dev, that great king, all the people around him became pure. Be very careful of the company you keep. If there is no good company, be in the company of yourself. Learn to love your own company. Learn to love the company of the Lord. Don't compromise on these things, because whom you are with can make so much of a difference. Just being in the company of Ranti Dev, other people became great yogis. Socho. So the two most important things is give. Fearlessly give. Yes, fearlessly give. हम डर डर के देते हैं. हमारे पास नहीं हुआ तो trust me, if you are destined to have money, nobody will be able to take it away from you. The more you give, the more you'll have. And if you're destined to become a beggar, no matter how much you save, you are going to land up on the roads only. ये भाग्य का लिखा है ना, ये डेस्टिनी कोई नहीं बदल सकता. And we have seen the greatest and richest of actors, actresses, people, rulers becoming paupers, haven't we? And we have seen beggars becoming kings. ये सब प्रभु की लीला है. Nobody can understand. And why do we want to understand? We do not want to understand your games and your leela. Nothing doing. You play your own games. We do not even want to indulge. You just please help us, O Lord, to become a giver. देना सिखा दो प्रभु और भक्ति दे दो बस. और ऐसी सत्संगति दे दो कि ये देना और भक्ति दूर नहीं जाए. Satsangati. Keep me in the company of people, place, situations which reinforce my ability to give, and my devotion increases by being with them. That is all that I seek, just like Ranti Dev. It is not easy, but nobody said it would be easy. Just because it is easy, it does not make it right. Just because everybody does it, it does not make it right. Don't be fooled. Don't be deceived. Awaken now. अब नहीं उठोगे तो कब उठोगे? और अब नहीं जागोगे तो कब जागोगे? I always say, right? The human birth is very rare and the clock is ticking. Who will go when? Nobody knows. Then why and what are we waiting for? What are we waiting for? A lot of introspection is needed. Learn to spend time with yourself and learn to question yourself. Don't act impulsively. Give it a good thought. कहते हैं ना, मालिक के दरबार में सब लोगों का खाता है, जैसी जो करनी करता वैसा ही फल पाता है. मेरे मालिक के दरबार में सब लोगों का खाता है, जैसी जो करनी करता वैसा ही फल पाता है. In this courtroom of the Lord, He has a journal, debit, credit. All the entries of all our good deeds and bad deeds are being made. And we will get whatever we sow. Right? We will get whatever we deserve, good or bad. ठाकुर जी देख रहे हैं, 100 आंखों से देख रहे हैं, 1000 आंखों से देख रहे हैं, हमारे दिल में बैठे हुए. He said, right? You reside in each and every person. You reside in me also. You are residing as a witness. He is witnessing each and everything, each and every thought, each and every said and unsaid word is being witnessed by that divine Lord. It is being witnessed. It's a beautiful, beautiful story. And it has to compel us to think, if this does not, what will? We might be children who are listening to the story. We might be, family people or householders, mothers or fathers. The story applies to all of us because the simple act of giving can be done by anybody. The simple act of loving and taking other people's sorrow can be done by anybody. The simple selfless act of kindness can be done by even a child and a toddler. And devotion to the Lord can be sought by anybody. This story has summed up a lot of things. The story is telling us there is no differentiation based in caste, creed. There is no upper class, lower class. All that has been fed into our minds. Remove it. Remove it. And the only thing that you need to take with you is your ability to give and give and give. Jai Shri Ram, Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Hanuman, Jai Hanuman, Jai Hanuman. Shri Krishna Govinda Hare Murari, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव. श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारी, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव. श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारी, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव. श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारी, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव. हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. वासुदेवाय वासुदेवाय. राम लक्ष्मण जानकी जय बोलो हनुमान की. राम लक्ष्मण जानकी जय बोलो हनुमान की. राम लक्ष्मण जानकी जय बोलो हनुमान की, जय बोलो हनुमान की, जय बोलो हनुमान की, बोलो बजरंग बली की जय। जय श्री राम, जय श्री कृष्ण, जय हनुमान, जय हनुमान, जय हनुमान।